Ding Dong YouTube, welcome back to the channel. I'm the Jobless Coder, and if you're like me and you use a Windows, then you've probably encountered this screen before. The dreaded blue updating screen. It has this ominous warning, do not restart your PC while it's updating. But have you ever wondered what would happen if you actually did? Well, watch this video to find out. So I was just on my computer yesterday doing hard work when I received this message that the computer has an update ready to implement. The only two options are restart it now or remind me in 1 hour. There's no option that says, please do not update my PC. Well, I have work to be done, so I clicked on remind me in an hour. And then in an hour, remind me in an hour. And then an hour, remind me in an hour. And it just kept asking every single hour to update. Well, I don't want to update. I've got work to do. So sure enough, while I'm gone for supper, that's when it decides to restart. Against my wishes. And of course, I had things on my desktop that I hadn't saved. And so that all gets lost because I don't have any control over my own computer, according to Windows. So I figure, alright, I guess I'll just let it update and then I'll work on it later. Well, the first thing about the update that I noticed was that it would take forever. It took 1 hour to get to 2%. Then it slowly crawled its way up to 5%, and then at some point it jumped to 17%, at which point it slowly started crawling its way up again past 20, and then by the time it got to about 23, it was averaging 1% per hour. So it took 1 hour to get from 23 to 24%, 1 hour from 25 to 26%, 1 hour from 26 to 27%. At this point, my computer had been functionally unusable for 8 hours. Ain't technology great? I mean, it wasn't too bad because I had charge in my phone, and so I just sat on my phone for 8 hours watching YouTube videos. But then my phone died, and I was like, well, shit, what do I do now? I guess I could read a book, maybe go outside, except it was 2 a.m. in the morning, or maybe I could go to sleep, you know. I can sleep when I'm dead. So I thought, this is fucking retarded. At this rate, it's gonna take another 3 days to update from 28% all the way to 100. So I decided, screw it. I'll see what happens if I restart it in the middle of the update process. Alright, so it's at 28%, and it's been updating for 8 hours, so I'm gonna restart it here. See what happens. Hopefully it doesn't take 8 hours to undo. So then I got to this screen where it says it's reversing the changes that have been done. I certainly hope it wasn't going to take 8 hours to reverse the 8 hours worth of updates that it has been doing. I find it quite ridiculous considering you can install a brand new version of Windows 10 completely from scratch on the hard drive in about 2 or 3 hours, maybe 4 hours max. So what the hell could possibly be taking 8 hours to update? So then I sat on this screen for about another 20 to 30 minutes, which was really annoying because the main reason I updated the computer was that it was functionally broken. I wasn't able to use the computer for things that I needed. And so what happens? I just end up waiting even longer. At this point, I just went to bed because I gave up trying. I have no idea how long this process actually took because I fell asleep, and then I woke up at about 7:40 in the morning and found that it was working totally fine. Alright, so it finally restarted, and it appears to be working. Now, I'm not recommending anybody actually do this with their own computer, because I have a brother that once did this with his. He restarted it in the middle of the updating procedure, and it literally fucked his entire computer. Like, I mean, he had to go to the store and exchange it for another one. Luckily, it was only a week old. He could easily do that, but it's like, holy shit sandwich, Microsoft! 8 hours to update my computer? I've seen posts online talking about this update process that people have been left for 2 days without a functionally usable computer because they were too scared to restart it when it says, do not restart the computer. And that's reasonable if the update takes maybe 10 to 20 minutes, but if it takes hours and days, I mean, the main reason they tell you not to do that is because they're updating core system files, and so if they happen to be in the middle of replacing one file with another and it's only half replaced, and that's a critical file for your computer to run, and you restart it, that file is now broken, and your entire computer system could be broken from one or two single files. But a lot of the updates that are now being implemented deal mostly just with security stuff. They don't actually touch any of the functional input-output components of the operating system. In the early days of Windows 8 and Windows 10 when they were first released, they're dealing with a lot of these core system files. Windows 10 when it released was absolute trash. I mean, it leaked memory like a bloody sieve. So a lot of the initial updates were dealing with more critical system files. But now that it's been implemented for several years, and it's pretty stable at this point, the only updates that Microsoft continues pushing on you are security. And I think I actually permanently disabled the ability for the computer to update itself. Every single time it updates, I find it gets slower and slower and it just makes it more garbage. But inevitably, Windows somehow finds a way to continue to update even though I've disabled all update functionality. It's like that scene from Jurassic Park. It finds a way.
Life, finds a way.
Now, I've used all three operating systems quite extensively, being Mac, Windows, and Linux, and I do like the Windows operating system the best. I like the interface the best, I like the customizability that it has, I like the ability to play most games on it. I like Windows, but my number one critique of it is the constant, eternal updates that it keeps pushing on you, even when you don't want to update your computer, because every time it updates, it somehow breaks itself further. And I have lost entire hard drives of data and information because of an update that has gone wrong, or an update that didn't fully complete. And it sucks losing all your data. I think every computer my family has owned at this point has lost all of its data on the hard drive from either updates malfunctioning or the hard drive malfunction. Some other reason causes all these files to be deleted. It's almost impossible to actually keep these files. Important pictures, videos, you name it, we've all lost it. Which is why I started using a service called Dropbox. Now, I'm not sponsored by them in any way, but I just really like this service for backing up my data. Microsoft has its own thing with OneDrive and stuff, but I like Dropbox the best. It's accessible on all your devices. You can get it on mobile, you can get it on desktop, you can transfer pictures and files between the two. It's fully integrated with your system hard drive, and so it actually makes a folder on your system that you can access just like your documents folder, your pictures folder, and you just put your files there. And then as soon as the files have been submitted to the server, then they're accessible from all your other devices. You can pay them a flat fee per year based on how much data that you want to be using for backups. And then for the entire year, you have accessible data to you, in addition to the space on your computer. So instead of going out and buying an external hard drive, you can just do this, because if you have an external hard drive, you can't access those pictures easily from your phone. That's why I prefer using Dropbox. And my parents even said to me, "Are you sure you need to be paying? You don't really have any money. How important is this?" I said, "Yes, this is very important. I have lots of very important data that I use on this. So yeah, I paid Dropbox their yearly subscription." So I guess the moral of the story is don't ever update Windows. Until they force you to.